What's up, guys? This is going to be a super long in-depth video on how to actually properly do image ads for your dropshipping store, for your brand, for your product, whatever. The reason I'm making this video because I hope to see you very, very soon in my Discord wins channel with 7.5 grand days and all these wins right here. So we're going to need a couple different documents for this before we get started. First one, we're going to need my hook test SOP so that we can actually properly test hooks. So I'm going to walk you through everything and why we're doing this. Second of all, we're going to need my unique mechanism SOP with all the prompts in here. We're going to specifically use AI for everything today, okay? So that's kind of what we're going to do. Now, for the product, for example purpose, I'm going to do this. This is not my brand. This is like, just something which I found doing a little bit of product research here on the ads library. They have 240 active ads. They're running this to the UK, which means they've already successfully brought this over to another country, another market than the US, which is already a good sign. So you could, for example, take this to some EU country or whatever, or still buy enough market share probably in the UK if you have a proper unique mechanism. Probably also in the US. They have 7,300 page likes, so this is, very promising. And so how we're going to get started, because I'm not here to waste your time at all. So the first thing we're actually going to be looking at is this unique mechanism SOP, which basically walks you through how you can exactly have a perfect unique mechanism for your brand, which is going to help you a lot when it comes to image ads, right? Which is going to help you stand out from competitors. As you can see, it starts with a desire map here. So we need to figure out the deep mass desires. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give it the product page, and I'm going to run a deep research, essentially figure out what the deepest human desires are that this brand fulfills. More practical needs, no competitors. I'll figure that out in the next step. All right, so now that this is done, we have all the, desires that we fulfill here. We're going to copy this whole thing and paste this into a new Google Doc. We're going to call this the desire map. All right, now we're going to go back to the unique mechanism SOP and essentially follow this step here, which is give me a prompt for the deep research feature that fills the gap between my product name, and the deepest desire, right? And so that's going to be our unique mechanism. Unique mechanisms are nothing else but things that essentially bridge the gap between the desires and you and the customers. And so this is why it's so powerful. This is why we need one before we even talk about image ads, right? So we're going to give it this, and we're going to essentially attach the desire map. And essentially product name, we're going to change. Output of this prompt is going to be another prompt once again for the deep research, which we're going to run so that we have these different ideas for unique mechanisms that we can test. Boom, boom, paste it in here. Click deep research and then hit enter. All right, so now we have the output of the deep research for the actual unique mechanisms, and we're just going to take the output here, like this whole thing, and just put it into a separate Google Doc. Once again, unique mechanism document, right? And so what we're going to be going over is we're going to give it this document right here, and then based off of this, we're going to start writing hooks. So download PDF, boom, and now we're going to open up a brand new ChatGPT 4.5 chat, and essentially now we need to open up another SOP, which I've linked in the description, which is going to be the hook test SOP. And the first prompt is going to be to prepare the GPT to write copy, right? So we have this prompt right here that basically tells it to emulate, copywriting legends like Dan Kennedy, Jason Fledley, and so on, right? So we have a lot of these right here. Just going to paste it, boom. And the prompt is essentially just to confirm your understanding and readiness and then wait for further instruction. The second prompt, which is actually writing the hooks, right? So here, what this is super interesting, super important, we actually have to fill out the awareness level that most of our customers will. Now, this is based off of the research, obviously, and, based off of the unique mechanisms doc. So kind of just how much we have to be different. And so I would say most people for lightning strips are either solution aware or product aware, right? So I'd say we should probably write hooks in the solution aware stage, right? We're going to attach the unique mechanisms document. And so based off of these, it's going to start writing us hooks, right? We want to write 30, and those are the ones which we're going to put on the actual hook test. Now, what a hook test essentially is, you guys notice, I'll show you guys this in a second, but we'll test hooks first in terms of only images with text on it, right? So it's going to be no picture of the product, nothing else, no other text, just images, blank images with text on them in order to see, okay, which ones are actually the best. And so here's our hooks that we have right here, right? And so oftentimes you'll have to iterate them a little bit, right? Because you will realize, okay, well, these are, for example, there's not a lot of numbers in these, right? So whenever you have this problem right here, this is just based off of like my experience, but you because sometimes like the first output that ChatGPT gives you in terms of the hooks, right, in terms of the actual copy that it writes, you need to kind of change it up, right? So usually you want to kind of always have very specific numbers in there. Now there's some with those, for example, $500, 10 spare 10 minutes a day, 3 days, blah, blah, blah. But we want to have more with specific numbers in them, right? Because they just work better. Also, they're all pretty long, right? And so like, for example, feedback, iteration, include more, not in all of them, very specific numbers. There we go, right? Not all of them. Now we have the specific minutes. Cool, let's go through these. Sensitive teeth, here's a new way to whiten, 5 shades whiter, 0 zings. Whiter teeth this weekend, just 3 days, 10 minutes a day, no dentist required. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hop into Canva, right? We don't want to do anything else. We are not going to, overstress this. We're not going to immediately start making image ads. But the first thing actually that we'll do is we'll open up a new Canva design, 800 times 800. Just add a title and then take these hooks that essentially ChatGPT gave us, copy, paste them in here, and that is going to be our hook test. And so these are going to be the first rounds of creative tests that we're going to launch, right? First round of creative tests is only hooks like this, all 30, right? So what you want to do then is you want to spend like around $5 each image that you test like this, and you just look for the highest click-through rate, right? Turn them off after $5, even if they get you sales, even if they perform super well. Turn them off, and you look for extremely high CTRs. I'm talking 7, 8, 9% CTRs and above, obviously. However, the thing is, the most important part about these is you look for outliers, right? So you look for ones that significantly outperform all the other hooks that you tested. And so then once you have your winners in here, you're going to basically take these and then put these on the actual image ads, right? So now we're going to basically, export all of these, make a bunch of image ads that look exactly like this and only change up the text. When we test these, ABO, you can do one ad per ad set. You can do 3, whatever it is. Budget doesn't matter because you're going to spend around $5 each, and then just after that, turn each image off. And so you'll also, call to action should be like learn more. You don't want to be too salesy. Just leave the primary text and the headline blank, the description anyways. And yeah, then you just look for the highest CTRs. All right, so let's expect that this hook, for example, is our winner right here, right? Wider smile, 3 days, 10 minutes a day, okay? So once you have like a couple winning hooks, let's say this one, I'm just making these up, right? I haven't actually tested the hooks, but after you have the hook test done, after you run then in your ad account, what you're gonna do is then we actually need the visuals. So we're going to hop in right into ChatGPT and generate us visuals of this product, right? So we're going to give this product picture number 1, product picture 1. Then this is going to be product picture 2. Should have a couple which are like, this is product picture 3. Let's say this random one here is product picture 4. So now we're going to hop into ChatGPT, give it these 4 pictures that we just basically took from the competitors, and actually just say, selling this, I'm selling these teeth whitening strips, generate me a 9 to 16 realistic image with someone holding the strip packaging in their hands and showing off their teeth, smiling. So this is going to be a testimonial style, right? So now our tools, create image, and then click enter and then see what kind of images we get from this. And so the thing is, what we're going to do is usually when I have a winning text hook like this, usually when I have 3 different visual variations, right? So this is what I'm going to show you. So cool. Make another one now, different person further away so that there's space on top for text. Cool, this is gonna be the second one. Now we want a third one. Cool, so now we have the first concept ready, or the first visual concept at least, and we're just gonna put these winning hooks that we identified earlier on these, right? So we're gonna create, once again, another design. So we're just going to do new design, and we're going to do 9 to 16, right? So that's going to be kind of how we're doing this. You can just click Instagram story, doesn't really matter. And then you just want to download these pictures that you got from ChatGPT, and then essentially put the right stuff on there. So let's start with this one. We're just gonna make this a little bit smaller, magic expand, whole page expand, and then we just want to put the text that we've identified previously as a winning on here. All right, boom, 10 minutes a day. Want to have a little bit of a thing here. Now we want a different font. We want to try, for example, this one. Let's try something like that. Hold on, what if we actually try, because sometimes I have to play around a little bit with the text that you use, right? We could also copy this, make this a lot bigger, something like that, right? Idea is basically that you identify these winning hooks first that have extremely high CTRs and then put the hooks on actual visuals, right? So for example, this one. Now I'm going to show you another example with maybe a different hook just so you can get a better picture of how I actually want to do that. Cool. This is a lot better. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to drag this. We can actually do this right here, right? So we're going to do a little bit of a 9 to 16 one out of this too. And essentially we just want to drag it up like this, make it bigger. Now we have a lot of room for text up here, right? So this is going to be the widening strips. We can actually add a little bit of effect to it. So I'm going to show you guys how maybe you can make this even better. So like shine or something, and then just to showcase how white her teeth are, right? Just to really showcase that. We'll make this a little bit smaller. Something like that, right? Boom. What if I do this a second time? No, I think one is better. Boom. Okay, cool. We can actually, perfect, right? And then we want to go ahead and maybe make her teeth overall just brighter. So we can do a little magic grab on her mouth overall, or her teeth, right? Extract, and then we're just going to make the brightness a lot higher just to really showcase that, right? So this is the kind of changes that you need to make on your images. We're just going to make this a lot brighter essentially, and also drag this up here. Yeah, this looks a little bit fake now, so we're not going to do it like this, but just a little bit higher. And then what I want to do is I just want to maybe take this, maybe change the coloring a little bit. So duotone, and then we want to do completely white. Maybe like some slight bluish something. I don't know if this works or not. No, this does not look good. All right, no. I just tried maybe something else. Hold on. No, this looks more realistic, to be honest. We can make this a little bit colder though overall, like just a picture. Yeah, this looks better. Oh God. Yeah, this looks better. This looks really cool now, actually. And now we just need another hook maybe just to showcase how that would look. Let's talk about the pain angle. All right, so that's our unique mechanism in this one. Once again, you want to usually test multiple mechanisms. Let's make this our text. Let's make it once again this thing right here. Text color, I'm gonna do white maybe, or hold on, maybe something else. No. Maybe I'm going to make the whole background a little bit darker, just so that the text is brighter overall. Boom, right? I think this all already looks decent. We're going to can obviously make this a lot better. But somewhat like this is what your image ads are going to look like in the first creative test. Now, once again, keep in mind, this is just the first creative test. Ugly ads, pretty profits. Keep those things in mind. Most important thing is that you do not skip the hook test in the first round. And yeah, this was pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope I could learn. I hope you could learn a thing or two. And yeah, I hope I could do. I'm going to once again link every Google Doc that I used here, every SOP that we kind of took the prompts from in the description below. Check those out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, for giving me your most important asset, which is your attention. And I wish you a beautiful day.